Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford. That is -9 JP. Ho ho! I'm freezing today, mate. How you doing? And my back, John, sits in. All systems go, mate.
Oh, mate, chittering away here, man. I've nearly lost my bottom lip twice a day, man. What are teeth you get out of Tam Shepherd's? Unbelievable. Actually, I was rattling more a day than what I was the last two penalties Giacomakis is up for us, by the way, and I'm not kidding on. How's things with yourself, mate? It's nice to see your happy, smiling face again, man.
I'm all right, mate. I've got a wee bit of a cold sore, mate, but apart from that, I'm all right.
Is that what that, mate? I don't want to be cheeky there and say something out of turn, but
I'm looking at Jason's OnlyFans, mate, so it's getting me a wee bit, you know what I mean? So.
Right, okay. Even your tellies get warts looking at it, know what I mean? So, hi, mate. It's good to be back on me, mate. Two Ronnies back at it again. Tuesday night. This is normally where we get together, where we soiree, as we call it, know what I mean? Last couple of weeks we've done a Friday night together, but we seem to be back to a routine here. So, aye, good on us. Obviously, a couple of good topics, mate. Celtic are back, first and foremost. Makes us all happy again, smiling. Here we go. Been looking forward to it, mate. Like I said, I know the World Cup is getting to the nitty-gritty part of that now, and obviously we know one of the finalists, which is Argentina, but it's certainly not the same as watching the hoops and having Celtic back in about things as well, which is going to be good. Probably be good for the mental health for a lot of people too, mate. And not only that, Ryan, we doubled under, I know, so not only are we getting Celtic back, but we also got Alastair Johnston jetting in and completing his move and being unveiled to the club and to the fans, and obviously joining his new compadre in Yuki Kobayashi. So, aye, all good, mate. It was nice to see that wee training video with him and all. But I need to dig him up, because if we get a chance to talk to him, I think I'll be digging him up, because he said something about he loves the cold weather, and he'll certainly be wearing short sleeves. Well, he came out to training the other day with a pair of thermals on and a pair of gloves, so somebody needs to get back and remind him he's pressing, I think, mate. But aye, all good to see you, mate.
You as well, mate. Obviously, like you says, a lot to talk about now. Obviously, sad to see JJ's World Cup's finished. Unfortunately for him, obviously, that's the goal to get the World Cup finals. Obviously, not happening for him. But
his text by Gans asking if he's got tomorrow, by the way.
As mate, I think for me, he started a wee bit slow, but I think overall you can see his class, you can see his pedigree, you can see how good a player he is, and glimpses of what we've seen. I know Ian said that Ralston was keeping him at his place, but I think Ian Wright's Ian Wright, because he was a fantastic player, but I don't think he knows much about the Scottish game as much.
Ian Wright's fella Barry White, I think, mate. Know what I mean?
I think
Ian Wright's been smoking some of that stuff out more across the water, or accustomed to now and again.
But again, I think Gary Neville even said he played in the Premier League or something. So they've no interest in down south. They've got a date for their fucking programme, do you know what I mean? But
thing is, I'm surprised at Ian as well, because he played with us. So I'm surprised.
Juranovic has been playing, but Ralston has been playing, but that's because he's been rotating them, no because Juranovic isn't a better player. We all know in the big game, Juranovic has basically played them all, so that tells you what you need to know. Overall, mate, for me, he's been brilliant for Croatia, especially the last 2 to 3 games. The first 1 or 2 games, he had a few nightmares, and I thought, don't kind of ruin yourself here on the biggest stage, because I know how good it can be, and so can you. And I'm just glad that he's actually at the latter end of the World Cup, he's come out on top, and he done well right again. The night he didn't really put too much wrong, but you guys like Messi, it's very hard to judge him, because the guy's, let's be fair, mate, the guy's a freak. What we've seen tonight is just stuff we've seen for years, but today at a high, under pressure, it's frightening, man. But overall, for me, mate, Juranovic, he's definitely added a few pound signs to the deal. If something's already not been signed, I hope it's no, because I hope that Celtic have been wise enough to wait till maybe this is done to then get something signed. But overall, mate, if he comes back and he's here for the game, obviously, I doubt he'll be here for the Aberdeen game, but maybe the next 2 games after that, he's still in the squad. He can't sign for anybody, so I'm really surprised if he's still part of the squad until then. But it surprised me that if he's here for the Rangers game, no, because I still think the Celtic want their best players until maybe that's finished, that game's done, and then maybe look at things, right, we're 12 points, right, we can maybe sell him now. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, I don't know, but overall, mate, I think he's done well, and he's definitely opened his eyes to maybe Celtic and himself in Scottish football.
Yes, Ryan, I think he's carried himself really, really well in the tournament. I think he's showed a bit of form in the tournament that he's maybe not showed week in and week out when he has played with Celtic this season. He's kind of showed up very, very well in the World Cup. I had a conversation with my dad the other day about this, and I says to my dad, see out with the boy Hakimi for Morocco. I don't think I can mention another guy that's been right at it at the World Cup than Juranovic. I really can't. I'm really struggling to come up with. I mean, even on the bigger teams that have been knocked out, they've been major letdowns, mate. Like your Germanys and your Spains and Hollands, and in my opinion, they're not even a punchy former Spain, Germany, and Holland teams that you would see in it. Like, you always, these kind of tournaments, you always associate, and the first names right off your tongue is always Argentina, Brazil, Holland, Spain, Germany, now it's France. By the way, never once have I said England. So, they're probably the biggest failures that think that they're, I don't know, they think their squad's an array of talent. It probably is, but time and time over, when they get together, they just seem to falter. Croatia, they probably don't have a lot of world-class players out with Modric. I think Juranovic has been next to that in this World Cup for his displays. People might shoot me down. They might say I'm talking about my hand end here, but I really think that he's showed up really, really well. He's got to the semi-final, which is, by the way, that's no average and it's no easy to do something like that. So, as I say, but it's no surprise that, I mean, I thought the boy Sousa had a nightmare the night for them, the left back. But their manager's probably looking to the bench and thinking who the left back substitute's going to be, and thought to himself, I'll just stick with him. Maybe he'll get through it. Because it got to about the 40th minute, and I'm thinking to myself, if I was a Croatia manager, I would at least stick with Sousa for the next 60, 65 minutes. And then decide what I was going to do. But as I say, you're looking to the bench and you're going, I don't even think, I wouldn't even have trusted Bobby Boucher to fucking give a game of FIFA tonight on a PlayStation, let alone bringing him on as a sub to try and alter that. I mean, the shite we've read about him the day just alone, mate, talk about his dad's a gangster and like, fucking, come on, man. Like, I mean, melt your head somewhere, not? I mean, your head's been stuck in a fucking icicle for too long. Your dad's a gangster. So what does that mean? You need to play every game for whatever team you play with? Give me peace. Come on, where did he get this stuff from? Like, who comes up with these stories? Now, I don't even know anything about his family, right? I don't want to sit here and say a day, but just the nonsense. His dad isn't happy because he's hardly played at the World Cup.
Just getting to World Cup you should be happy.
How the fuck James Madison's dad feels then?
I know.
All he's done is walk in and out a hotel door.
Get a free buffet.
He's got a free buffet. Morelos has got it. She never gave him a phone.
No, man.
But come on. It's like, but what's going on? But as I said, I mean, And that's probably the worst game I think I've seen a boy Sousa have for Croatia. The times that I've watched Croatia. And obviously you take a genuine interest, Ryan, there, because obviously your man plays with him, you know what I mean? You're on of it, so you would take an interest. It was the same with Canada. Once we were linked with Alastair Johnston, which obviously we're going to touch on now. I watched the Canadian games because I wanted to see as much as I could of the boy. And when I heard they played so many games for them prior to this World Cup, it's just absolutely frightening. And I thought, right, this boy must have something about him. And then he showed up very, very well. I know they get battered for pillar to post, but they tried to play a brand of football that we like to watch. They were unlucky. Very unlucky against Belgium. They probably should have beat Belgium if you look at the game back with the chances that were missed.
I agree, mate.
And then obviously they take the lead against Croatia and then they just crumble. So in the games, I thought they played some really nice football as well. And he, to me, and obviously me and you have spoke, I thought he was one of the standouts, especially against Belgium. I thought he was outstanding against Belgium. But again, he's probably just putting himself in a short, not in a short window, but he's probably putting himself in that light to go, like Celtic fans, here's a wee... Because listen, obviously hear his interview and stuff, we'll go into that, but he knew himself before then he was going to be a Celtic player. So he's probably put himself in that window to go, right, boys, this is what I'm made of, this is what you're going to get off me. Probably no fully him because he was playing in a different position. He was playing right centre-back at the World Cup, the right side of back three, which, by the way, shows a versatility in his game. Just don't tell Alec Ray that, because he'll not be happy with you. He'll be arguing with you to the cows come him about, no, he can't do this, and he can't do that, and he can only do that. I think he's still spewing a real Hatati, to be honest. But, no, as I say, it all just bodes well for us, Ryan. It puts Celtic on the map as well. Juranovic getting to the semi-final. And it just shows now, obviously, the recruitment for Ange and kind of the roads that we're potentially now going down as a club, mate.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. Few comments for YouTube, mate. Patrick says, in my mind, he should be back for the road, and Ibrox giving his all for those two games and see what happens. Probably, Patrick, that's probably the time frame I would say, because obviously he can't leave at the moment. So, again, we don't know what happens behind closed doors, how a deal's wrapped up and it's just not in the press. But you'd like to think if something was wrapped up, it might be in the press by now. Because talking about Johnston, JP, he says it was about 2 months ago Celtic kind of contacted him or were interested in him, and then they only really came out after, was it before the first game or after the first game of the World Cup? That's when it just came out. So Celtic have been smart and doing their business early, because I think if they go to try and get this guy now, I think it's £3 million roughly going for, wasn't it? Maybe 8 million or 10 million, because he's playing a World Cup and he played in a World Cup. This is why I think that you might not be the best of players, but see, once you play in these bigger stages, it will add value to your CV. That's just human nature. That's just natural to happen, because
no, for everybody, I don't think, no, Ryan. I mean, you've got to look at Jason Cummings, for example.
But see, the fact he's went, mate, it does. I still think because he's been for the next team he goes to, I'm not saying they'll need to pay money, but they'll think, Barry, he's played at the World Cup. In the back of their mind, even though he might not be the best of players, the fact that he's got anti-CV, it's probably still something that clubs will look at. Maybe experience. I don't know. I know he didn't play much on it, but I think Celtic have done really well getting that wrapped up early, because it means there was no other team sniffing about him. And obviously, maybe, like you were saying, mate, but it seems that the deal was done, but it just wasn't out there until obviously he was finished the World Cup, etc. He's not really had a lot of time off, and he's come in, he's trained. Wouldn't surprise me if he's in the squad for the game of the weekend. It wouldn't surprise me, because he's fit. He's just off a World Cup, so he's probably invested enough for the last 10 days or so. So I think Ralston will play, but again, it just shows you the squad that you've got now, that you've got a guy away at the World Cup, you've got another guy come in, and it's just a squad depth that the manager's kind of bringing into the squad, and you can just rely on the manager now. maybe Gucci. Can't really comment on him because he got injured. McCarthy, for me, was a good signing. It's just no worked out in terms of because he's style of play we play. If you went play McCarthy plays, you get the benefit of him because he's done okay every game he's played. I couldn't tell you, I think apart from one pre-season game, I couldn't tell you any game where I've been shouting and bawling to stones with McCarthy. I've not been. I've been saying...
That's because he's not been there.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Anytime he played on the park.
Oh, when he's played, aye.
Saying, oh, that's a shite pass, or fucking this, or fucking McCarthy. I've always been quite kind of praising McCarthy. I think he does the simple thing well. He's got a good pass on him. You see what he's started to do on the park. I don't mind guys losing the ball trying things. It's when they don't try things and I'm like, listen, I'd rather give the ball away trying a nice pass than fucking giving the ball away out of the park. Just try something. I'd rather you tried it than fucking don't try something. Because football is about making mistakes and learn from it. I'd rather somebody made a mistake than been shitting himself to fucking express himself. So, but I own Johnston, mate. I think it's a good signing. Again, I don't know much about him. I only know really through looking at his stats and obviously YouTube clips and looking at the World Cup. But he seems a good signing. He seems real fit in. He adds a bit of nitty and gritty, I would say, to the squad that we're kind of missing. So again, mate, cheap signing, no cheap, but cheapish considering he's playing the World Cup and he's played, I think, 31 cats for Canada, and he's meant supposedly, again, this is my words, it's just through Twitter and social media. Apparently, he's one of the best right backs in MLS. People might criticise MLS, but the standards are getting better. Obviously, spoke to Jonathan, and Jonathan did say as well that it's not as bad as people think it is. It's getting better, and these bigger guys are want to come and play those just because it's the lifestyle, but it's the standard of play as well. Gareth Bale's went, people say it's money and all that, but Gareth Bale for me could have went to a better team than him. So I don't know if it's money, but it just shows you people are gone there, and it is a better up-and-coming league than it used to be a while ago. But I do think it's a good signing, and I just hope he's a very good signing for us.
Aye, Dan. Well, don't we all, mate? And like I say, I think Ange again is pulled a wee rabbit out of magic hat here, but I've got a really good feeling about this one. The fact that Big Wanyama's went and done a bit of due diligence for us as well, and he gave him the run down to us, and probably gave us a run down to him as well. Because going with the sounds, it sounds as if it's been Big Vic that sort of put the two married on together kind of thing, you know what I mean? But then I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually Ange that knew about this boy. Anyway, and he was probably part of their scouting missions, because obviously we've got young Mark Lawwell in there now, and for what I heard, he's a total machine.
Well, but they know that they've got loads and loads of scouts. I know that by a fact that there's so many scouts. I don't think some fans realise the scouting network Celtic that's currently under Ange. It's frightening. So expect, I would say, some of these signings to know about the blue anywhere, to actually expect some of these guys from foreign countries to be coming in a bit more often. I would like to think so, considering obviously we hear through a grapevine that there's a lot of scouts out there scouting.
Have you not noticed as well, the guys that even have been linked to, there are only a few, right? But the ones that we have brought in, they're not in a market that would be dead hard to get players for.
Yep.
It's a bit easier to get these guys because they're in a different type of market. And because you're on this Brexit shite and everything else now, you've got like Asia and North America, and look, these places are easier to go and get players. A lot of clubs, especially EU, UK, a lot of clubs don't want to part with their talent. They don't want to put, especially the January window. January window is a tough window for all the teams, not just Celtic. But then again, it comes down to your manager, and it comes down to how proactive and how forward-thinking he is. And in my opinion, mate, I think he's played a blinder. I've seen the boy enough now to say, right, this boy's a player. Now, what we've not saw is how he fits and moulds himself into the Ange's system. But he looks as if he's a perfect fit. I can tell right away. I've watched him more than once now. I've seen him. he looks as if he's got to be fit enough, fast enough. He looks as if it looks as if we've got a guy that could quicken us up a bit in there. I'm not saying Juranovic slows us down, by the way. That's not what I mean. What I mean is quicken us. I mean, he'll be quicker in the challenge. He'll be quicker to tackle people. He'll hit people quicker instead of letting wingers get running at him. I'll give you an example. The boy Mudryk for Shakhtar Donetsk. Juranovic is with him. He gets himself in, gets himself set, lets the boy step right across him. That boy, Johnston, looks as if he's going to scalp that boy straight away. And mid-run, he would just hit him. Rather than wait till he's back set and then Mudryk does a wee jink and moves inside him and tries to get away. He's going to be set straight away for that. So that's what I mean. Just a bit more, he looks as if he's a bit more physical than Juranovic is. Not that Juranovic hasn't got a physical side to him, I don't mean that either. He just looks a bit more stronger, a bit more solidified. Juranovic is more, I would say, probably more technically, but like to go forward, win the ball higher up the park. I mean, for Croatia, he wasn't really defending. He was playing high and wide right. So it looked like that was the tactic. And the boy Sousa was high and wide left. So as I say, the night they just got undone with sheer class. And I know there's been a couple of comments being put in, but obviously I read something about that he could be back by the 22nd December, run about, give or take. So, like I say, you just don't know. There's that much fucking things getting flung about, and you don't know what's true and what's no. But he will be good time off because he's played every game for Croatia, and he probably the rest of the Celtic squad have all had a break. Even Carter Vickers and Moyne, all that got a break. So, Maeda. Well, saying that, Maeda's probably the shortest of the breaks.
Right.
And going with what I'm hearing as well, it's been Maeda that's pushed to get back, so which is absolutely unbelievable. Like, he's just went and played World Cup, and I think he played in Ori games for Japan as well.
He's just a pure back, isn't he, man?
And that's what I'm saying. He just that 2-1 game at Ibrox last season. He was people having to put him in a motor at fucking 8 o'clock at night, man. He's running about shutting people down at 8 o'clock at night, chasing motors. He chased two buses last fucking. And then it's not that he wins the league with Celtic on the Saturday, and then the following Saturday he goes and wins the Grand National and one of the follies that we see, remember? But no, as I say, mate, it's everything that Ange's doing. He's looking for that hybrid type player, quick, hard to deal with. And like I say, he's in a system that Ange plays. It's to be an opposition to that system, unless you've got fucking 1-11 and it's littered with ability, and a team like Real Madrid, like all your kind of mainstream teams are going to find it very tough to play against that because it's relentless. And see the way Ange is building them as well. He was talking last season, like, we're coming into the months now that the Celtic team will start to peak.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about this, Ryan. I don't think Celtic have played they've not played extravagant football. I don't think that I've seen them play a lot better. Probably the peak of this season so far has been the 9-0 game at Tannadice.
Mm-hmm.
The performance-wise, peak of the season has probably been Real Madrid first off at Parkhead. I thought we were outstanding that night. I actually thought we played well in the Champions League, but we're not covering that again. We just never scored enough. We never scored anywhere near the chances we created, but that'll be addressed as well. So it's not just Ange's trying to address things that he sees. And who knows, maybe longer term, maybe he thinks given chances, maybe he just thinks Ralston's not the guy to come in and be the first choice. Greg Taylor's a different kettle of fish. Who knows, by the way, Johnson signing might actually do what Bernaby's done for Greg Taylor. Because Bernaby's turned Greg Taylor into Roberto Carlos. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So, Johnson signing might turn Ralston into fucking Cafu. I hope that's the case, and we end up with a couple of belters and the two of them are Scottish. Do you know what I mean? How good, how weird and mental would that? I know that sounds fucking mental, right? But how bizarre would that be if Johnston signs and Ralston goes, hold on a fucking minute here, you're not getting in a team before me.
I think it's a again. I know.
We all thought Bernabeu was coming into the left back then.
I still think eventually Bernabeu will. I'm not going to say. I think if Taylor's still here, I think Taylor will be left back. But I think eventually Bernabeu was signed. He's maybe the one and only, I would say, project signings. I think. I did think he was going to come in and be the left back. I did, but Taylor's kicked on again. So, but for me, I know we've spoken about it as well. That if Taylor get injured, some people are a bit worried. I wouldn't be excited. I think Bernabeu's a very, very stable heady left back to come in and play. I've no qualms about Bernabeu playing. I rate him for what I've seen him, and he's only 19, 20, so he's got loads of gears to go up. He's already been capped by Argentina, so it tells he's already in their mind frame as well. So I know some of these teams can give caps willy-nilly. I understand that, but I just think the way the manager's working, he's been very intelligent in terms of signing Johnston, when he's still got two right backs, because similar to a comment in the YouTube, mate, I think it was Patrick, yeah. If Ralston was to get injured, we were screwed for right back for the two home games before Xmas.
What did I say to you on the phone the other night?
Aye, that's why I'm saying I don't think Ralston, Juranovic, anything will be signed until January, because we might still need him. Because like you say, JP, we don't know how Johnston's going to fit into the system yet. He might need a few weeks to get used to it. So,
he's not going to need a few weeks, right?
No, I'm
he probably listen. He's going to have a few weeks for the team, so he's not even going to be able to play until the 1st of January. I
just think that the manager's done well. To get basically freedom now, because like Patrick says, if one of them did get injured against Aberdeen on Saturday, if it's Ralston, probably will be Ralston starting, then it could be, if it's a long-term injury or a short-term, at least you've still got Juranovic to come in and play if Johnston hasn't helped it yet or whatever. So he's still got the backup until at least the Rangers game, probably until January. Because I can't see anybody leaving until after that game. That's just my opinion. I know things might be in the background, but I can't see any player maybe not want to leave before that game, because if it stays 9 points to that game and you win and you go 12 points, for me it's league bye-bye. And that's the basis saying, right, now I can go, right, I've got 12 points, right, now I can go. You should be in safe hands without me now, and hands, mate goes, you know what, I'll sell you now, we'll get some money, we're 12 points ahead, right, game's a bogey, done your duty as a player, best wishes. That's what I'm thinking might happen. I'm not saying it's all depending on that game, because it's no, but I think if you go into that game selling a player, for me, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to sell a player before that game, because you know the mind media are going to talk, that's if it's sold, who's going to play right back? We'll sell it by the same team. That's all going to start, because something always happens. Something always comes up. You know yourself, mate, before these games at Ibrox or Celtic Park, before Rangers and Celtic play, something pops up in the paper that week. It's an unanimous no bid for China for fucking Morelos. It'll be Leeds are wanting Ryan Kent. It'll be somebody's wanting Jota. Fucking McGregor's going to fucking Sunderland or something. It'll be something bonkers. They always do it. They always put something that week in the papers to build it up, and it's always bonkers. Once it was it Dembele to Brighton. Dembele to Brighton.
That was Christmas Day.
You get a Mr.
Moussa Dembele had signed. They put on Sky Sports News that Moussa Dembele had signed for Brighton.
That's what I mean. You get a cone. No, he's not going to play for Brighton. Do you know what I mean? So I think that maybe
I signed the register to sign into a building.
I don't think anybody will leave. If they're going to leave, obviously we know Juranovic is probably the only one that might leave in January for big money. I know maybe fringe players like Gucci might leave, McCarthy, other guys like that. Robertson, machine of days, might be no sign a new deal, so we'll sell it on off him a new deal. So I can't see him staying past January, because he'll want to get game time for the summer. So it'll be interesting, mate, that sense, who leaves and when they leave, because I just can't see anybody leaving before that game. That's just my opinion. I don't think I'm not saying rock the boat or rock the squad, but you wouldn't want to have any, I don't want to say negative press, you don't really want to have anything against you or anything that's going to highlight before that game. You just want to keep it hush-hush, hopefully win that game, which I'd like to think we will. You go, but we all know these games are always, you're always mad confident in the first minute, like, kick him away, you shake yourself, but I'm confident we'll go Ibrox and win, but you want your best player still there. It's still, for me, as it stands, he's probably the best right back we've got, because I've not seen much of Johnston, so I can't comment. So if he's fit, I'd play him. But again, I'm not the manager. I just think they won't settle anybody, mate, until after that game, because I think you'd want to get that game done early Christmas period and then start looking made into kind of further forward into January.
I totally agree with you. Just before we go any further, Frank, I've seen your comment there about Johnston's no Scottish. I wasn't talking about Johnston, mate. If you'd put your cold beans down for a wee minute and actually heard what I'd say says that Johnston coming in could be the best thing to happen to Ralston. And how bizarre would it be that we had Ralston playing like Cafu and we Oxo, as I call him now, Greg Taylor playing like Roberto Carlos, and the two of them are Scottish? How good would that be for Steve Clark? But knowing Steve Clark, they'd probably pick fucking Stephen O'Donnell still anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference to me. So aye. No, as you're saying, Ryan, I totally agree with you in terms of the Juranovic situation. I think it would be mental to let. But then again, listen, I back the manager, mate, so I wouldn't even bat a fucking eyelid if Juranovic left and hugged me.
Mm-hmm.
The way when we announced the 3 Japanese lads in Hogmanay last year, I wouldn't bat an eyelid because I believe fully in what Ange is doing. I think Celtic fans in general, some just like to moan about nothing, and just because there's not enough drama going on, and people just now and again like a wee moan. We all do, mate. We all do. But as I say, it's one of them ones. But I agree with you. I wouldn't let them go until the game's well and truly away, and then you can decide what's happening. But who knows? Like I say, whatever's happening in the background. My guess is, Ryan, and I've said this to you before, mate, even after this, I think he's already away, and I think something's already, which is why Johnston's already here.
Mm-hmm.
So that Ange isn't left fucking holding the baton whenever, like, years ago, mate, we've been used to players leaving and we've no time to replace them. In my opinion, it's we never replaced Big Wanyama at the time as well, and we never recruited well enough. So, like I say, it's aye. But I think Juranovic is already away, and I just hope a lot of Celtic fans aren't too bitter about it whenever the time comes, because Ange is broke. There's no danger. The 3 of them are getting kept at right back. It's not happening, mate. So you need to ask yourself, why is Johnston already here? It's because something's happened. And like Johnston says, 2 months ago, he spoke to Ange. Mate, Ange would have known by then whether Juranovic was away or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how people think things just come in out of the blue. It's the same with this Giakoumakis thing, and on, he's changed his agent and blah, blah, blah. He's changed his agent because probably what's happened has been real, and he's probably changed agents. I know football, Ryan, I'm not daft. He's probably changed agents, mate, because his agent fucking went public with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he maybe didn't want that happening, knowing that there could be a backlash off a lot of your fans. So that's why Giakoumakis has changed his agent. It's not because he all of a sudden has decided that this agent's going to get him a better deal or with the club, because he's not going to hold the club to ransom.
Mm-hmm.
So Ange's probably said to him, big man, we can only offer you this amount because I'm looking to still bring in another striker. Because in my opinion, he was doing that anyway, so it wouldn't even have made any difference. I still think they two needed a horn. You know my thoughts on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going with the Champions League displays, then you're fucking damn straight they needed a one. Because the two of them came goal shy in the Champions League. Apart from Jack, I mean, Giakoumakis scored one, okay. But one's not enough out of all the chances we created, mate.
No.
So, and him and Kyogo did have a few to get on the end of one or two of them, you know what I mean, out with the one Giakoumakis scored. So, I really think that the same with Giakoumakis, I think it's been a bit naughty. The timing it as well, I think, you know, I don't know why he's all of a sudden but as much as we think he's a good player, he's not one of the main men in the team. The team can still perform without him.
See what you're saying about the contract thing there. I agree with you because I think this has obviously maybe been a few weeks that they've been talking about a new deal, all right. And his agents maybe went, you know what? He's not getting the deal that I want him to get, and he's put it in public. Similar to Juranovic, his agent put. I'm guessing his agent leaked it because the club wouldn't leak it. So he's leaked it to try and either get more money or get more clubs to show interest. That's what agents do. That's just what happens with football. Guys put feelers out, and the feelers come back to bigger feelers. So that's just what happens. So I agree with you on that, mate. Again, some of the comments about Juranovic not wanting a new deal or Giakoumakis wanting more money, some of the comments is wild. Let's see if you've got a football brain. Football's not a business. These guys have got mortgages, they've got families.
He's got a young family, mate. His wee boy's only about 2, if you're lucky. And they've just had a baby, him and his missus.
It's not just about not wanting to beat Celtic. Giakoumakis and his missus have come out and says they're happy here. There's no harm in a guy maybe wanting more money because he's been good at his job. I want to walk into my boss or whatever and say, by the way, I want an extra 2-3 quid an hour. I'll probably get told no chance. But that's up to me. He goes, you know what, I've done well my work. I want a rise.
You've put pressure on them now, so you've done it on the podcast, mate. So listen, if Ryan's bosses are listening to this, then he wants a pay rise, by the way. He's not messed about with us.
But it's the same with Giakoumakis. He's obviously felt, I've scored a lot of goals last year. I've done all right this year when I've been fully fit. I think I deserve a new deal. There's no harm in that a player I think they deserve better. They might be get told by the manager, no, you don't. But if you're, let's be fair, see if you look at his stats, he's done very well considering what they bought him for. So maybe he's thought, you know what? Maybe he has been told a gentleman's agreement, which doesn't exist in football anymore. We know that. That's nothing. I can say to you, JP, you've got fucking, I don't know, beautiful hair. And then go behind your back, had beautiful hair. Do you know what I mean? It's all hearsay. It's all hearsay in football.
Sorry, I had to turn around now because I was waiting my missus going, no, he fucking hasn't.
It's all hearsay in football these days. Like, you can... German agreements don't work these days unless something's signed in a contract or signed by writing. It's no liable, it's no legal. So you can say Giakoumakis might go to the board and say, Barry, I want 20 grand more, right? Just say it. I know that's not the case, but Jacko, no bother, mate, no bother. I'll get that done in 6 months' time, no bother. And see, he goes back and goes, oh, Barry, where's my 20 grand? What are you talking about? There's no deal in place. So he's only... So if that's where you want to go with your business, you're not the plums. So it's not going to, unless you've signed a dotted deal, it's not happening. So I do agree with you, mate. I think it's a day wee sneaky leaks by his agent, and I think he's went either he's not put a good bid in, and I want an agent because of that, or he's seen the leaking and going, why are you leaking that to the press when it's a club matter? Like, I'm happy here. I just want a bit, maybe a few more grand because I've done well, which I don't see any harm in that whatsoever. But you know what the press are like, JP, you know what all this is all about. They make it out worse than what it is, and fans think, you want more money, you don't want to be here. He's no say he doesn't want to be here. He's want to be here, so he's wanting a bit more money. Is that not coming in your mind? He's want to be here. He's just want a bit more money because he feels he deserves it, and I don't see any issue with any player wanting a bit more money unless it's dragging amounts that it's out of Celtic's means. But I just can't see that happening, and I do agree, mate. I think he's Chinese agent because they've went public.
Aye, and I don't have any qualms with it, but like I says to you, in my opinion, as much as we're saying he's a good player, we've got a lot of good players in our team now, but he's not one of the main men in my team. Mm-hmm. See if Giakoumakis doesn't play on Saturday, is it going to mean Celtic don't win? No. Mm-hmm. Like, we were all shiting it when McGregor got injured. But we coped through. Because O'Reilly dropped in there and had to change his game and alter his game, and he actually showed a different side to his game in terms of he was a better tackler, and by the way, he was a better tackler than I thought he was. He had to sit in deeper, and his runs were late. He wasn't getting into the final third as much because he had to stay and try and break up a lot of the play. Whereas Rio Watati was asked to do a bit more in terms of moving the legs and like I says, I'm not saying Jackie Market. And by the way, I never ever do this, and I never ever look for it out at the pram. If a player wants to leave, he wants to leave. I have no qualms with that whatsoever. What I've got qualms with is the fucking timing it and the way they go about doing it, and the player can act stupid and do whatever he wants. I have changed agents and all that. Okay. There must have been a big bit of you, or a wee bit of you even must have fucking known your agent was going to do something like that. You must know the guy. How long's he been your agent? He must have got you to move from Holland to here. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Patrick. I've just seen his comment there. I said this to my dad. That's what this reminds me of. So, I agree with that, Patrick. It's got that run about. And Big Pierre... But little did we know at the time, Big Pierre gets shafted and all. A bit like the Canio. Mm-hmm. With words off Fergus to say, right, we'll do a deal, and then they tried to renege on the deal. When
it's kind of what I've just said. I do it was agreement, isn't it?
But the thing is, right, Giakoumakis this season hasn't done enough, in my opinion, to go and start waving wands and saying, right, I want this, and I want that, and I want... Fuck off. But you're not even one of the main men in the team. How are you going to start shouting the odds? I could see the point if it was maybe like Jota or Callum McGregor, but again, it depends on the amount of wages he's wanting to rise to as well. So just say for talking sake, right, this is just a ballpark figure for all the listeners that are listening on as well. I'm not meaning this is what he's on. I don't have any inside knowledge to anything. So just say for talking sake, he's on 15 grand a week, you know. He's probably on less than that, right? Celtic have probably said to him, listen, we can't go above 23. That's how much we can offer you on a new contract. Now, your new contract, going with the way Celtic's contracts are now, it's going to be a 4 or 5 year contract. So, Celtic can't then go, oh, do you know what, we've made a mistake. We'll go back, we'll refresh, we'll try again, we'll do this. No, it's either that's the deal or it's no. But agents now went public, trying to be cheeky, going, maybe the agents went, right, I'll try and drum up a bit of interest on you. You're drumming up interest in a guy that, again, in my opinion, underperformed in the Champions League. And he's missed the last couple of penalties as well, back to back for us now. Mm-hmm. So, I just don't think he's the main man in the team to be doing all this, but I want this, I want that. And see if he's that big huffy type, Angel no play him, but the proof for that line will be in the pudding. Yep. Because Angel just no play him. But again, I'll come back to what I've said all along. People can go back on the podcast if you don't believe me. I'm not spitting at that, but throwing the toys at the pram or throwing my rattle at. If you're asking me, if you're going to ask me who I think's better, then I've already said it. I've been on record saying it on this millions of times. Kyogo is all round a better footballer than Giakoumakis. He brings so much more in terms of a forward press. When Giakoumakis plays for the beginning, if he plays and Kyogo doesn't, we have to play a mid press, which means we have to sit off the team we're playing against. Now that means even if it's fucking Easter Road, Pataudry, we still need to sit in, because we then don't have that forward press. He's not pacey enough to do that. He can run. I'm not saying he can. He's a big bit of a boy, but he's not as fast as Kyogo to then land his own goalie for the final third. Mm-hmm. So we press at a point. It comes to like an arrow. He's the main man. Whenever we play a forward press, he's the one that goes and shuts things down. He then starts, if Abada starts beside him, Abada's up with him, because he's got that killer instinct. You watch the difference as well. You see Jota, his momentum rises when Kyogo's there. he just brings an energy, Ryan, and he's the type of player, like I say to you, mate, I've said it before, he's got that Larson-esque in him. He can turn a game on its head. You might not see him for 70 minutes. He's the type of player, bang, the Hibs Cup final, he scored 2 goals before he knew what the fuck's going on. That's how good he is, Ryan. Now, he's only showed wee flashes of that here and there. I get that. But it doesn't matter. Eventually, mate, that's going to come out regularly. And he's a guy I think will struggle to hold on to another long term. So, like I say, Ange's rotating the squad. Whether he plays or he plays, we're happy. But Giakoumakis, for me, Ryan, just hasn't done enough to then go and start demanding fucking shouting the odds about this, that and the next thing. In my opinion, I know he's a good player, but nobody's, in my opinion, got that authority then to go start throwing rattles out of prams and saying, right, I want this and I want that. And no, because when all that starts to happen, it can cause unrest in the dressing room. First you're seeing the Juranovic thing about him leaving, but now we've got Johnston as a replacement in. So there's not a lot of noise now happening about Juranovic. I saw, Juranovic is at the semi-final of the World Cup. Like, it's all turned positively again because Johnston's in now. Johnson coming in, shut him all up. It's as if they've no now got that to go, he's wanting away by the way, he's wanting away by the way, he's wanting away by the way.
Aye.
So you're right, mate, he says earlier, coming up to Christmas, mate, you'll see something fucking ludicrous happening. He's been caught up in alley doing a shite, or he's been doing this, or he's done this, or he's done, you know, some push is going to come out. That
happens all the time.
We're just, like I say, we're predicting it now, so come back to us in a week or two's time when it's actually happened, and then, but it does happen all the time, you're right, mate. And like I say, with the Giakoumakis thing, I still think Big Ange will bring another striker in, regardless of whether Giakoumakis stays to the summer or whenever he's going to stay to. Because I do think the two of them do need a horn. Especially the way Kyogo plays, because his recovery can't be as quick because of the amount of fuel he burns when he's on a pitch. Because he's the same as Maeda. He's not as fast as Maeda, but he's got that speed that gives us an energy that. And I know people, I've heard their fans saying he's not scored against him across the water. He's not. Listen, don't worry about it. That's going to come, I know. And when it does, it's going to be a beauty. If anybody saw the highlights for the game, I know it was a friendly, but the game for the weekend, go back and watch his finish. He is lethal. Giakoumakis doesn't have that, mate. Although he's got one-touch finishes and he's strong, you know, different type of player altogether. Ricky Ogo's, he's a flair player. That's the best way I could say to him. And as I say, overall, I think he's a better player. And that's why Ange's probably, he's been on record as well saying he's gutted for Kyogo this season because he's not been able to play him as regular as what he's wanted because of the high demand in the games we've got, mate.
No, I agree. I think overall, mate, he is the main man. I just can't compare them because I think they do different things for the team. Call me for Patrick, mate. We need a penalty box striker. For me, in terms of
we don't play that type of football, Patrick. In
terms of that, Patrick, in my opinion, I believe we've got one, Giakoumakis. He's proved that. We just sometimes, I feel, we don't use him wise enough to his strength, especially when he plays in Europe. He's not the sort of guy that's going to run the channels. That's Kyogo. So if you want to run the channels, you need to play him. If you want to hold the ball up and link the play in terms of bringing the ball in and holding it up and linking and getting him to turning, then he's a man against certain teams. But Kyogo will do. That's why I'm saying, if you want a penalty box striker, then you've got to send a guy that's going to fit the system. So the way we play is...
Then you need to alter your system.
You're two wingers, right? If the only way you're going to get a penalty box striker is if it's just a bad and Jota or Hašanović, whatever. They need to get the ball in the box all the fucking time. They need to get it in all the time because if the ball's not in the box, that guy's just doing doggies and it's a waste of a journey hanging up the fucking bus to just doing doggies. You can do that in training. I believe Giakoumakis. I'm agreeing with JP. I've said it before. I think for European football, I think as much as it's going to sound daft, I think for European football, I think we need a bit better than the two we've got. Kyogo might do a bit better than Jack and Marcus in Europe, but in terms of being lethal, I think a bit more experience in the Champions League will help. But try to get a guy that's played in Champions League consistently will cost you a lot of money. I know fans say, "Oh, we paid £7 million for Julian."
Strikers are worth a weight in gold, mate.
But we had to spend a bit of money on the defender because our defence was very shaky. Julian came in, showed it up for a bit, and now we've got Vickers, Starfelt, Kobayashi's in now. I'll go right, there we go. And we've signed Jens and Welsh, so you've got a packed defence now, but at the time with Julian...
You've been practising that, haven't you? Not a chat here. Hold the bus a second here. Wait a minute before we go any further. I want to hear you actually say that again because you've been practising it. You've got that wrote down, haven't you?
No, I've just my mind is 9 gloves, mate.
You've been having to Google Translate, haven't you? You've been on a Google Translate.
But I do believe Jackie Marcus. Well, I've got a penalty box striker in him and Kyogo, but in terms of European football, I think we will sign somebody. JP, I think we will. But like you've said, mate, in my opinion, forwards it's probably the most important in the team because as they score the goals, they win you games, and that's why, like you says, mate, they're worth their weight in gold. That's why they go for big money. Yep. I'm critical of some strikers because I know it sounds daft. Like Big Haaland, right? The guy's a fucking machine, right? But I think sometimes he doesn't do enough outside the box. He's just a penalty box player. He's just a goal scorer, if that makes sense. Yeah. But that's what he's paid for. That's what Man City, they give the ball to him, he scores goals. They don't need him to do the doggies in the park and fucking link up the play. De Bruyne has the ball to him, he scores goals. But we can, the way we play, we can need our strikers to be more involved because of the way we play, which is high pressing and whatever else. So I think European-wise, mate, I think I can see signing somebody for next year. Maybe January, I don't know if the funds are there to go and spend mega bucks in January. I don't know. But I think maybe that's best for summer to find out where you are at the end of the season, see where you are, if you're going to sell, etc. So, but I do think we need somebody to help you too, mate. As much as I think the two are good, I think for the European sense, I think we do need somebody with a bit more, I'm not saying pedigree, but somebody's been there and done it. But like we've said, mate, that's where you do your scouting. You try and get a wee gem that's not going to cost you too much money. Mm-hmm. But again, that's obviously the manager and the recruitment. And obviously, in terms of we're trying to get players, and they're signing new players, they're signing guys on new deals, and like
in them bus passes.
Like it just says, mate. For me, the AGMs started to show a bit already. Michael Beale, Ian Beale says they want to promote youth. I've gave Leon King a new deal. For me, that's it. That's the start of it. Obviously the boys are talented.
Help me fucking Ledley King.
Obviously the boys are talent, taking through Rangers, let's be fair, taking through certain means I carried playing the first time. In my opinion, you need to be very, very, very good.
Better than a Lion King.
I think he's been lucky to get in because obviously they've had a lot of injuries and they've not had the full 11, the full back line. He's obviously come in and played, but for what I've again, any Rangers fan, if you want to come in and let me know how Leon King is, fire away or whatever. But for what I've seen for the boy,
no, gonna know, just gonna know, do that.
How no?
Just gonna know.
Because that'll be the full thing, knackered.
That's the full thing, knackered. Once you let a man, you're never getting rid of him.
I do feel that the boy's obviously a talent, but I don't think he's anything that Rangers need right now in terms of being into stop Celtic. I think he's been given a new deal because they're going to try and take a punt on him progressing. I did say that Gio, I know he probably had to do it, but the fact they put him against the games in Liverpool, etc., and he get ragdolled, for me, for his confidence, that's just going to be hellish.
You never just get ragdolled against Liverpool. There's certain games and there's frailties in his game, mate.
So this is why I'm saying about you can't just give like Celtic. We want to get new deals, right? There's youth guys who we spoke with JP. There's guys like Vatar and Bolson Lawwell, etc. We don't know how good they are, right? Because we don't see it day in day.
There's another one. Ralston gets injured. Big Lovell can fit in it, right?
There you go, right? Aye, that's true. But I still believe for the B team to the first team, I think we spoke about the last pod, mate, it's a massive gulf, and I think you need to be exceptional. So even like the boy Scott Robertson, right, he's been in about the squad. He can't get a sniff. And I did say to you, why is that boy in the bench away at Leipzig? It was away at home, I can't remember what one it was.
I think it was the fact that because what was it? Somebody was injured, wasn't he?
But I just couldn't believe he came out the blue. Like, no seen him all season.
No.
I was like, and then obviously we were talking that he's maybe higher rated. And I'm like, right, maybe this boy's got a bit of a shout in. And ever since then, the boys, I don't even know a match to squad since then, once or twice. And obviously it's come out today that they don't want to keep him. So that's a weird one. But that's somewhat, I think Celtic, sorry mate, I think we're kind of ruthless. We're youth. If you're good enough at Cheerio, they don't keep you if they don't rate you. Obviously to a certain age, and they might try and develop you and then let you go. But I just think that we are a bit ruthless. We are youth, and I think now with the way they are in terms of our finances, people will say I'm lying, but we all know that they need to promote their youth more. But the fact that the manager had to promote this and say this, is that not what you should do every year anyway? It's what Celtic do every year. You get a new fox of youth every year. They release, they come in, release. That's just natural. And the good ones got their level, and that's just what happens. So,
Aye.
as I says, mate, I think some Rangers fans need to Frank.
You got a better chance of it. By the way, you've got a better chance of Frank Sinatra coming back first.
Frank, there's more chance of me coming back for a left leg, left knee injury, than the big man coming back to play with Celtic.
Just his left leg, mind. Just never mind the right.
He's not good enough, Frank. Some fans, because he played one good half against Betis, that they thought he was going to be this next best thing. No, even in the first half against Betis, he was raw as hell. His positional sense was hopeless. And I don't use the word hopeless to any professional.
What did you do that for, Frank? What did you do that for? There he goes.
I don't think Frank. I think he's a bit alone, isn't he? In fact, I don't. Is it no permanent? Is it not away permanently?
I think he might be, Ryan. I actually think he's. I think the deal becomes. I think it's a deal that like Maeda. I think the deal then becomes permanent once he goes.
It was only played pre-season to try and get him a short window. He's never going to play with Celtic. At JP, we've spoken about it. You can kind of judge a player after one or two games, the way they are, the way their touches, their running styles. You can sense who's kind of got something, who's no. And the big man, for me, for Celtic, he didn't have it. Maybe other teams can go and have a good
year. Big Applegarde's the same now. I think he's struggling I think he's struggling. No for fitness, but I think he's struggling to keep up the pace. I just don't think he's... I don't think he's...
like you say, JP, that just...
He's not that hybrid type player I was saying earlier about what Ange's looking for. And I think that, I really do think he's going to struggle. I wouldn't actually be surprised if you see his loan deal getting cut short. There you go. I don't think I would bat an eyelid about it either, because he's not. Has he contributed? He's not really contributed that much.
I mean, see, but first, if you can cut his loan and you do get somebody to come in permanently, then or of at least a 6-month loan to then maybe sign the summer, I think that would be maybe a good shout, mate, to cut losses. You've tried it, maybe no bought it, it's no worked, and you move on.
Mm-hmm.
The last bit of the pod, mate, which you're looking to obviously I came up Aberdeen, mate, in the next coming few days.
I'm just looking forward to it, mate. It's been a long time coming. It feels as if it's been an absolute eternity. I think it's a distant memory now. The last time I seen Celtic, do you know what I mean? The last time I seen Celtic, we never won. we get beat with Everton in penalties. But
penalties don't count.
No, penalties don't count. I know, and neither the friendlies, as you say. But but realistically, Big Angie's on a shaky nail because we've lost our last 3 games. We get beat with Sydney, beat with Everton, and beat with Rennes. Absolutely quality, man. So I reckon, by the way, the dogs will be barking shortly if this keeps up. The caravans are fucked off, so they have.
Brilliant, man.
But no, I'm looking forward to Saturday, mate. Obviously, we're back on Sky. It'd be good to. It's got to be good. And then the games are coming thick and fast, I think, after that, because we've got Livy next Wednesday night at Celtic Park.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, after that, it's... What is it?
Watching Hibs Rangers, isn't it?
So Easter Road, isn't it?
Celtic.
Rangers they're up at Pataudry next Tuesday.
Christmas Eve, St Johnston, then away to Hibs, and then Ibrox.
Christmas Eve, St Johnston, aye, and then that mob on 2nd of January. So, aye, it's... That's a good point, actually, Joseph. I've just seen your comment there, mate, about the weather. Aye, we've been looking forward to Celtic that much, and the game might not go ahead because of this weather. I would be I said this to my dad today, actually. I would be very, very surprised if the game didn't go ahead. I would actually be really disappointed, I think, if the game doesn't go ahead. Because of the fact that we've waited so long to see them. And I think the boys are all jumping in a bit to get going. And listen, what's not been spoke about enough is the fact that we're returning our captain as well, because he's ready to go. And I think that'll just give the squad a massive, and Big Starfelt as well, I think that'll just give the squad a big, massive lift. I think we're actually, apart from Juranovic missing, I think we're actually fully strengthened.
Apart from, the main guys, aye.
Aye, well, because Moy's back, so is Carter Vickers. I've seen him in that wee training video. And then obviously, you're going to, listen, you might be waking up a sleeping giant now, I know, because now that McGregor's fit again, Matt O'Reilly will be getting pushed out in his more natural position, so he'll be ready to go and go into that finish at the weekend. I think he's, see, we could spin shite and on, like, he scored a belter at, or he's got a hunger and desire again, and like, here we go, and you don't hear any of that for your side at all. Like, come on, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden now, Malik Tillman's get the same. I heard him maybe was linked to Messi the other day. Jesus Christ Almighty God, man!
God, man!
This is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like they're like I say, Steve, before me, half the shite they talk isn't true. And the other half is very, very hard to believe. But no, Ryan, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I just want to see us now put our foot to the flare and let's go for the jugular. Get this league wrapped up. And we've got a semi to look forward to, I know. Obviously, that's the new year, but I want to see us be really clinical now. Now's the time to rack up some goals, get us back in about it, and ready to go. What about yourself, mate?
Same as you, mate. Just get the fit to the flare for Saturday, mate. Start off quick as we can. Try and... it will be a hard game, I think, maybe because I'd imagine the first maybe 15 minutes will be a bit cagey through to rustiness, etc. as well. So I think take that with caution. Don't expect us to be flying through traps as much as I'd love us to be. I think it might take a wee while to get into the game because obviously it's been a while since we've played competitive action. So
you're writing us off already, man.
No.
There we go. Listen, Angie, by the way, big man, if you're listening, I don't obviously side with that opinion. He's been watching his dodgy box too much, and that's definitely no coming for me.
I don't want fans to be pissed off every 15 minutes, however we'll start it quickly, because I think it will
be a goal done.
Aye.
His VARs gave him 3 penalties.
Fuck, I know why that. I know the fucking returner.
We've got that to look forward to. I know. And by the way,
that's for another 5 or 6 years in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
See the next 5 banners, we should just stick that permanently on the start. VAR, because that's going to be the next topic for the next month.
But aye, mate, I just think it's just try and get the 3 points, hopefully. Just keep working hard, and like you say, mate, obviously to the Christmas period, if we come in, I've said on numerous occasions now, if we come out that just about unbeaten with full points, or maybe just 1 game's on and the rest won, I think the league's finished. If we can through the Christmas period, because they'll do well to win every game. I know they've got a new manager. I think they will do well to win every game, because it doesn't matter if you're a new manager. No, they're still not been in good form. They're still the same players, the same team. So they're playing on Thursday, so we'll see how they're on Thursday. Some fans will say they won't watch the games. Don't lie, because you want to see how they'll turn out, see how they go. I'll watch it if I'm in the house. I'll watch it because I want to see how Mr. Ian Beale's going to get on, and how the fans will probably be at half time. It's nothing on each, but I just think for me, JP, it's like same as you, mate. Good to have Celtic back. Aye, somebody's going to get a game because it's Aberdeen, and obviously again it's less tickets, which are shambles, but it's another topic.
You need me on that hat and gloves, boy, or you might have got me Aberdeen. That fucking that way on Saturday, man. You kidding?
Same as you, mate. I just try and get this done as we can, because you want to go from 9 to 12 to whatever. You just want to keep progressing, keep getting bigger and bigger, and it gives you a bit of leeway if you maybe did tap a point or two, or 1 or 2 games if it comes to it. So same as you, mate. Just try and get the one on Saturday and kick on for there to next week. Going to be a busy schedule. Players will get tired. It's just natural. Some might not be at their peak, so you want to. That's why you get a big squad as well. Again, anyone that likes the content, please thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click the wee red button, and you'll get a wee bell when we go live or any videos we upload. Myself and JP are on all social platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, also TikTok as well. JP's getting the horn of that now, so
you've got a couple of other apps as well. I'm not talking about that tonight, but you know.
Yes, do, come on.
You and Big Jason are going into a partnership, man. I can tell right now, by the way. There's big things happening. Keep an eye on the unrestricted view. There's a business proposition coming up soon.
What do you call him? Say, was it Ryan?
Entrepreneurs.
OnlyFans by Ryan Red Toenails or something like that.
The Red Shoe Diaries with the Choco Brothers.
Aye, but please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Type in the name of the podcast, and you'll get it on the Twitter and YouTube as well. But JP, hail, keep safe and -9 weather, and I'll speak to you soon, mate. Hail, take care.
Mate. Cheers, pleasure as always.